In this video, I'm going to do some updates and maintenance on a few of my ecosystems, as well as taking a look at the vampire crab Paladarium, seeing how it's grown and answering some of your questions. I'm going to start with this vivarium, which is well over 2 years old. This tank is home to some beautiful dart frogs. After removing the sliding glass doors, you can see that it's completely overgrown. All the climbing plants are right at the top of the glass and it's blocking the majority of the light from getting through. This bottom section's a lot darker in person and the camera definitely brightens it up. I do really like how the plants and roots look hanging from the top of the glass, but it's definitely not ideal for the long-term health of this tank. The plants at the bottom will soon start to struggle due to lack of light, which is evident in this philodendron. Now I'm going to get to work and start trimming these plants back. I was really quite surprised just how well rooted these plants were right at the top of the tank. They did take some pulling and tugging before they even budged. This plant here had grown so long it almost seemed never ending. When it came to trimming, I really didn't put too much thought into it and just tried to cut as much back as possible. It's already so much brighter and you can even see the frogs. Everything's really dry from where the leaves of the plants are blocking water from getting through, so I'm going to give it a good spray down. Whenever trimming a tank, it's always going to look worse before it looks better. But this was 100% the right move and the plants are going to grow back in no time. After putting the sliding doors back on, the maintenance for this tank is just about complete. It's really quite unbelievable just how many plants I pulled out from this tank. Now let's take a quick look at the tank next door. I did some maintenance on this tank just a month or so ago, so it doesn't actually need any trimming back. I was considering redoing this tank a few months back, but I'm really glad I didn't, as I'm absolutely loving how it looks. My favourite thing has got to be these philodendrons I recently planted at the bottom. I really like their dark green velvet leaves. The only maintenance I'm going to do on this tank is give the glass a good clean. To do this, I'm not using anything special, simply some water and paper towel. Unfortunately, all this noise did wake up Grogu the tree frog, but I'm sure he'll be back to sleep in no time. Now let's move on to a more recent build, which is this Nano shrimp aquarium. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll certainly be making more aquariums in the future. I have read your comments and a few of you were worried about the Rasbora being on its own, and I agree, so I'm going to get some friends with him as soon as I get the chance. All I'm going to do to this tank today is give it a quick trim and a water change. Before trimming any plants, I'm taking out some water and cleaning the Monte Carlo carpet at the same time. The only plant I'm going to trim back today is the Limnophila, which has grown right to the surface. Long scissors like these are really handy for maintenance. I'll put a link in the description. I like to use an old toothbrush to give the glass a good clean. I should mention I have replaced the barrier to the filter from the original video to this small piece of foam. It does get clogged a bit easier, but it guarantees that no shrimp will get through. All that's left to do for the maintenance on this tank is fill it back up with fresh water and turn the pump back on. New stems will grow back up to the top in no time. Now let's take a look at one of my favourite builds that I've made. Obviously I'm talking about the flowing stream vampire crab Paladarium. This tank doesn't need much maintenance at all, but I'm going to start by cleaning off the glass. I'm glad to say that all the crabs and plants in this tank have been thriving. The crabs have put some size on and they're all looking super healthy. Now let's do a bit of maintenance. The floating plants in the water area have multiplied significantly, so I'm going to remove a good few of them. A quick tip when removing floating plants like duckweed is to use a fork. It makes the task so much easier. I've been changing the water in this tank every week or so. I siphon out about 50%, give the glass a good scrub and then fill it back up. One thing I didn't mention in the build video and I got a lot of questions about is how I attach the glass door. It's held on by a bead of silicone about 3mm thick. This creates a really nice hinge while still being strong and discreet. I also got a lot of questions about how the crabs don't push the door open and simply walk out. Firstly, this door does have some weight to it and I doubt the crabs would be able to push it even if it was left open. But the way it stays closed and secure is that the elasticity of the silicone pushes the glass door against the glass beneath it. To open the tank, you simply pull the glass up and out simultaneously, and if you don't, it's really quite difficult to get open. With that said, no crabs have escaped, and I highly doubt they will do unless they put on some serious size. That's all the maintenance done for today. As for future projects, I've got a lot of exciting stuff in the works, so if you're not already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. As for these cuttings, I can't bring myself to throw them away, so if you want some free plants and you're from the UK, drop me a DM on Instagram. I'll split them into 2 or 3 bunches and it'll be first come, first serve. As always, thank you for watching.